This is not comfort. This is not softness. This is not motivation for the weak. This is discipline. This is pressure. This is the fire that builds men. If you're tired of being average, if you're done feeling lazy, if you're ready to rise, stay here, because the next 26 minutes are not meant to make you feel good. That testosterone is not about aggression. It's about drive. It's the force that wakes you up early. The voice that tells you to work when others quit. The discipline that keeps you focused when distraction is everywhere. Real strength is silent. Real power is controlled. Real men are built under pressure. This is not about hype. This is about standards. Comfort is the fastest way to lose your edge. It feels harmless at first. Soft bed, easy choices, late mornings. But comfort doesn't make you stronger. It makes you slower, weaker. Comfort trains the mind to avoid resistance. And resistance is where strength is built. Every man who became dangerous in life learned one rule early. Comfort must never be in control. Comfort whispers lies. You worked hard enough, you can do it tomorrow. You deserve this. And slowly, standards fall. Discipline does not whisper. It commands. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what must be done. Men who live by comfort live reactive lives. Men who live by discipline live intentional lives. Comfort creates excuses. Discipline creates structure. And structure creates power. When you choose comfort, you choose the path of least resistance. That path leads nowhere. When you choose discipline, you choose pressure. Pressure builds density. Density builds presence. Presence is felt before words are spoken. Discipline is waking up when your body wants to sleep. Training when your mind wants rest. Staying focused when distraction is easy. Comfort avoids effort. Discipline seeks it. The body responds to discipline instantly. Stronger posture, sharper eyes, controlled movements. That's testosterone expressed correctly, not aggression. Control. Discipline teaches your nervous system to stay calm under pressure. Comfort teaches it to escape. Men raised in comfort collapse when life applies force. Men raised in discipline lean forward. Discipline builds reliability. When you say you'll do something, you do it. No excuses. No explanations. Reliability builds self-respect. Self-respect is the foundation of confidence. Confidence without discipline is fake. Discipline without confidence builds real power. Comfort is addictive. Once you give in, the threshold increases. What was once uncomfortable becomes unbearable. What was once discipline becomes too much. That's how men lose their fire. Discipline preserves the fire. It keeps you sharp when others get dull. It keeps you hungry when others get satisfied. Comfort makes you forget why you started. Discipline reminds you every morning. The hardest discipline is internal. No one forces you. No one watches you. No applause. Just you versus your weakness. That's where real men are separated. Discipline teaches delayed gratification. You sacrifice comfort now for strength later. Most men want strength now and comfort later. That order never works. Comfort first makes discipline impossible. Discipline first makes comfort earned. Earned comfort feels different. It doesn't weaken you. It restores you. Comfort without discipline destroys hunger. Discipline without comfort builds burnout. But discipline must lead. Always. Discipline also sharpens decision-making. You stop asking, do I feel like it? You start asking, what aligns with my standard? Standards eliminate debate. Men with low standards negotiate with themselves. Men with high standards execute. Discipline removes emotional decision-making. Emotion is unstable. Discipline is reliable. When emotion leads, you're inconsistent. When discipline leads, you're dangerous. Comfort tells you to wait. Discipline tells you to move. Waiting weakens urgency. Urgency builds momentum. Momentum builds dominance. Discipline compounds. One disciplined day becomes two. Two become weeks. Weeks become identity. You don't try to be disciplined anymore. You are disciplined. Comfort-focused men chase motivation. Discipline-focused men create momentum. Momentum doesn't need motivation. It feeds itself. That's why disciplined men don't need speeches. They need routines. Routines remove excuses. Excuses are comfort in disguise. Discipline also hardens your mind. You become familiar with discomfort, cold mornings, heavy weight, mental pressure. Instead of resisting it, you embrace it. Because discomfort is feedback. Feedback makes you stronger. Comfort numbs feedback. That's why comfortable men don't improve. Discipline exposes weakness early. Early exposure allows correction. Comfort hides weakness until it's too late. Men who choose discipline age differently. They walk differently. They speak differently. They are respected differently. Not because they talk about strength, but because they live it. Discipline is invisible until it isn't. And by the time others notice, it's already too late to compete. Comfort produces soft habits. Soft habits produce soft outcomes. Discipline produces sharp habits. Sharp habits produce sharp lives. You don't rise by comfort. You rise by pressure. Pressure you choose. Pressure you respect. Pressure that builds something solid inside you. And once discipline becomes your default, comfort loses its authority and standards demand effort. They're meant to make you stronger. A man who cannot control his body will never fully control his life. The body is not separate from the mind. It is the mind's physical expression. How you treat your body is how you train your discipline. Weak habits create weak signals. Strong habits create authority. Control starts with awareness. What you eat, how you move, how you rest, how you respond to stress. These choices shape energy. Energy shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Men lose power when they let their bodies drift. Late nights, poor food, no training, constant stimulation. The body becomes sluggish. The mind follows. Low energy creates low standards. Low standards create excuses. Excuses become identity. Physical discipline reverses that process. Training your body teaches your mind to obey. When your body is tired and you still move, you send a signal. You are in charge. Strength training is not vanity. It is neurological conditioning. Heavy weight teaches the nervous system to stay calm under load. That calm carries into life. Pressure, work, conflict, responsibility. A trained body doesn't panic. It adapts. Cardio builds endurance. Endurance builds patience. Patience sharpens decision-making. This is control expressed through movement. Food is also discipline. You don't eat for pleasure alone. You eat for performance. Processed habits weaken hormonal balance. Clean nutrition sharpens focus. A controlled diet builds controlled energy. Controlled energy builds presence. Presence is felt immediately. People sense it before you speak. Posture improves. Eye contact strengthens. Voice steadies. That's not confidence, it's regulation. A regulated body produces regulated behavior. Sleep is another form of control. Sleep is recovery. Recovery maintains power. Men who sacrifice sleep for stimulation trade strength for distraction. Discipline means turning things off when comfort demands more. Late nights steal mornings. Mornings build winners. Control also means restraint. You don't react to every impulse. You don't chase every desire. Impulse is weakness, unmanaged. Restraint is strength refined. The strongest men are not explosive. They are contained. They choose when to release energy. They don't leak it everywhere. Training builds containment. Cold exposure teaches composure. Breath control teaches calm. Stillness teaches authority. Control of the breath controls the nervous system. Control of the nervous system controls behavior. Behavior controls destiny. Men who train regularly move differently through the world. They take up space without aggression. They don't rush. They don't fidget. They don't apologize for their presence. Their body knows it can handle pressure. That certainty removes fear. Fearlessness is not recklessness. It's grounded confidence. Control also means respecting limits. You push hard, that you recover smart. Injury removes momentum. Smart discipline sustains it. Longevity matters. This is not about short bursts. This is about sustained dominance. Daily physical discipline builds mental clarity. Clarity reduces emotional noise. Noise leads to distraction. Distraction weakens focus. Focus is power. Training clears the mind by exhausting excess emotion. Anger becomes fuel. Stress becomes strength. The gym becomes therapy without words. You don't complain. You convert. A man who controls his body doesn't need external validation. His standards are internal. His discipline is visible. Control also creates routine. Routine removes decision fatigue. You don't debate whether to train, it's automatic. Automation creates consistency. Consistency creates identity. You stop trying to be strong. You are strong. Body control also affects respect. People respect men who respect themselves. Self-respect is visible in habits. Neglect shows. So does discipline. Your body carries your reputation. Before your words, before your achievements, control creates alignment. Mind, body, behavior. When these align, progress accelerates. Nothing leaks. Nothing is wasted. Everything moves with intention. And when your body is trained to obey under discomfort, silence is misunderstood. People think silence means weakness. They think it means submission. They think it means fear. That's wrong. Silence is control. Men who talk too much are leaking power. Men who explain too much are seeking approval. Men who complain too much are broadcasting weakness. Real power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't need permission. Silence keeps your energy contained. Contained energy becomes pressure. Pressure creates presence. Presence is felt immediately. When a man walks into a room without speaking, people notice that silence doing the work. Silence sharpens awareness. When you stop talking, you start observing. You see patterns. You read people. You understand dynamics. Talking keeps you distracted. Silence keeps you alert. Men who are always speaking are often avoiding thinking. Silence forces reflection. Reflection builds strategy. Strategy wins. Silence also builds emotional control. You don't react to every comment. You don't defend every accusation. You don't respond to every challenge. Reaction gives control away. Control is dominance. When you stay silent under pressure, you signal strength. Weak men react emotionally. Strong men respond intentionally. Silence gives you time. Time to decide. Time to measure. Time to act correctly. Silence also intimidates. Not aggressively. Naturally. People become uncomfortable when they can't read you. Unpredictability creates leverage. Silence protects your plans. Loose talk exposes intention. Exposed intention attracts interference. Men who move in silence finish before others even notice movement. That's how power is built quietly. The loudest men are usually the least dangerous. They need to be heard because they lack substance. Substance doesn't speak loudly. It doesn't need to. Silence also strengthens self-respect. You stop seeking reactions. You stop fishing for praise. You stop explaining your discipline. Your actions speak. Results speak. And results speak louder than words ever could. Silence builds mystery. Mystery commands attention. People lean in when you don't overshare. Oversharing cheapens value. Silence preserves it. Men who talk constantly lose authority. Men who speak selectively gain it. Every word carries weight. Silence also teaches patience. You wait instead of forcing outcomes. You let time do its work. Time rewards discipline. Rushed men make mistakes. Patient men build empires. Silence is where restraint is trained. Restraint separates men from boys. Boys react instantly. Men pause. That pause is power. Silence also sharpens confidence. You don't need to prove yourself verbally when you're secure internally. Insecurity is loud. Confidence is quiet. Silence also hardens the mind. You become comfortable being alone with your thoughts. No noise, no distraction, no escape. That's where clarity forms. Clarity removes confusion. Confusion leads to weakness. Silence removes unnecessary emotion. Emotion clouds judgment. Judgment must be clean. Men who live in silence make cleaner decisions. Silence also reveals others. People talk when you don't. They expose intentions. They reveal weakness. They show their hand. Silence gives you information. Information is leverage. Leverage is power. Silence also demands discipline. You resist the urge to react. You resist the urge to boast. You resist the urge to explain. Resisting impulse strengthens willpower. Willpower controls behavior. Behavior controls outcomes. Silence is also humility. You let results represent you. No marketing, no noise, just execution. Execution compounds quietly. While others are talking, you are building. While others are explaining, you are progressing. While others are seeking attention, you are gaining ground. Silence also prepares you for pressure. When things go wrong, you don't panic, you train calm. Calm under pressure is rare. That rarity creates authority. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you choose when to speak. It means you don't waste energy. It means you are deliberate. And deliberate men are dangerous, because when they finally act, it's precise. When they finally speak, it matters. Pressure is not the problem. Pressure is the filter. It separates men who talk from men who perform. Everyone looks strong when life is easy. Everyone feels confident when nothing is at stake. Pressure reveals truth. When responsibility increases, when stakes rise, when expectations are heavy, that's when character's exposed. Pressure doesn't create weakness. It exposes it. Men who avoid pressure stay untested. Untested men remain unreliable. Reliability is forged under weight. Pressure forces focus. When pressure hits, distractions disappear. Excuses stop working. Comfort loses relevance. Only priorities remain. That's why pressure is necessary. Without it, you never know who you are. Some men break under pressure. They panic. They blame. They fold. Others sharpen. They slow their breathing. They narrow their focus. They lean into the weight. The difference is training. Pressure rewards preparation. Preparation builds confidence. Confidence keeps the mind stable when chaos surrounds it. Unprepared men fear pressure because it exposes gaps. Prepared men respect pressure because it validates discipline. Pressure is like demanding proof. Proof of discipline. Proof of consistency. Proof of control. Talking means nothing under pressure. Intentions mean nothing under pressure. Only execution matters. Pressure removes the mask. It strips away image and leaves ability. That's why pressure feels uncomfortable. It doesn't care who you think you are. It only responds to what you've built. Pressure also accelerates growth. Comfort stretches time. Pressure compresses it. You learn faster. You adapt quicker. You mature earlier. Men who choose pressure voluntarily gain an advantage. They don't wait for life to force it. They create resistance. Heavy training, hard schedules, high standards. They simulate pressure so real pressure doesn't shock them. Pressure trains emotional regulation. Your heart rate rises. Your mind races. Do you lose control or regain it? Calm under pressure is a learned skill. That skill builds authority. People follow calm men in chaos. Pressure also builds decisiveness. Indecision dies under weight. You can't hesitate when time is limited. Pressure forces commitment. Commitment eliminates doubt. Doubt is expensive. Pressure also humbles. Ego doesn't survive weight. Only discipline does. Men who rely on ego collapse under responsibility. Men who rely on systems adapt. Systems don't panic. Routines don't freeze. Pressure test systems. If your structure is weak, it breaks. If it's strong, it holds. Pressure also exposes priorities. Under stress, what you truly value becomes clear. Excuses disappear. Truth remains. Pressure reveals whether your habits are real or just convenient. Convenient discipline vanishes under pressure. Real discipline activates. That's why pressure feels heavy. It demands honesty. Pressure also builds resilience. Each time you endure, your threshold increases. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Resilience compounds. Weak men avoid pressure to protect comfort. Strong men seek pressure to build capacity. Pressure doesn't mean chaos. It means responsibility with weight. Carrying weight builds strength. Avoiding weight builds fragility. Fragile men fear responsibility. Strong men carry it. Pressure also refines focus. You stop wasting energy on irrelevant things. Your circle tightens. Your goals sharpen. Your actions become intentional. Pressure cuts excess. Excess weakens performance. Pressure makes you efficient. Efficiency creates dominance. Pressure also reveals leadership. Leaders don't react emotionally. They stabilize others. They make decisions when others hesitate. That ability is earned. Earned through repeated exposure to controlled pressure. Pressure cannot be cheated. You either handle it or you don't. That honesty is brutal, but it's fair. Pressure rewards work. Nothing else. No shortcuts. No image. No talk. Just capacity. And capacity is built by choosing discomfort repeatedly. Pressure also demands accountability. There's no one to blame. No one to hide behind. The outcome belongs to you. Ownership under pressure builds self-respect. Self-respect fuels confidence. Confidence steadies action. Action produces results. Pressure turns men into decision makers. Observers collapse. Decision makers advance. Pressure is not punishment. It's selection. Life applies pressure to see who is ready. Those who are ready rise. Those who aren't repeat cycles. Pressure is the test you cannot avoid. You can only prepare. And preparation means discipline. Discipline under calm conditions so you don't break under stress. Men who embrace pressure don't fear challenge. They recognize it. Because pressure is the environment where strength proves itself. Most men spend their lives chasing standards they didn't create. They follow trends. They copy behaviors. They wait for approval. That's weakness disguised as normality. Strong men don't ask what's acceptable. They decide what's required. Becoming the standard means you stop comparing yourself to others and start measuring yourself against your potential. You don't need permission to raise your standards. You don't need consensus to demand more from yourself. The moment you become the standard, you stop reacting to the world and start shaping it. Standards are not words. They are behaviors repeated daily without negotiation. How early you wake up, how hard you train, how focused you stay, how you respond under pressure. Those behaviors tell people who you are before you speak. Men who live without standards are controlled by circumstances. Men with standard control their response to any circumstance. Becoming the standard requires independence. You don't follow crowds. Crowds move slowly and think emotionally. You move deliberately. You choose what strengthens you, even when it isolates you. Isolation doesn't weaken strong men, it sharpens them. When you stop seeking validation, your decisions become cleaner. Cleaner decisions produce stronger outcomes. Becoming the standard also means consistency. You don't switch identities based on mood. You are the same. Disciplined man on good days and bad days. Consistency builds trust. First with yourself, then with others. Trust creates influence. Influence doesn't come from talking, it comes from reliability. People follow men who do what they say they'll do. Men who don't flinch when responsibility increases. Men who don't disappear when things get hard. That's the standard. Becoming the standard also means leading by example. Not lectures, not opinions. Execution. You don't tell people to work harder. You outwork them. You don't explain discipline. You live it. Your presence becomes instruction. Your silence becomes guidance. That's leadership without noise. Becoming the standard demands sacrifice. You give up comfort others enjoy. You say no when others say yes. You stay disciplined when others relax. That separation is uncomfortable. But separation is the price of excellence. Average men blend in. Standards make you stand apart. Becoming the standard also means long-term thinking. You don't chase quick wins. You build foundations. Foundations last. Shortcuts collapse. Strong men play the long game. They train for longevity. They build habits that survive stress. They choose discipline today so life is easier later. Becoming the standard means accountability is internal. You don't need reminders. You don't need supervision. You move because it's who you are. Identity drives behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. That loop makes discipline automatic. When discipline is automatic, progress becomes inevitable. Becoming the standard also means emotional control. You don't react to disrespect. You don't chase arguments. You don't explain yourself to people who haven't earned access. Calm is authority. Controlled men dominate chaotic environments. That dominance is quiet but absolute. The standard is not arrogance, it's certainty. Certainty comes from preparation. Preparation comes from discipline. Discipline comes from choice. Every day, you choose whether you rise or remain average. Becoming the standard is a decision made daily. No applause, no shortcuts, no excuses, just execution. And over time, people notice, not because you demand attention, but because standards change environments. Rooms adjust when you enter. Expectations rise. Energy shifts because the standard has arrived. And here's the truth. The world doesn't need louder men. It needs stronger ones. Men who can carry pressure. Men who can lead without ego. Men who don't fold when tested. That's what this is about. Not hype. Not motivation. Identity. 26 minutes of pressure. 26 minutes of focus. 26 minutes of choosing discipline over weakness. Because testosterone is not aggression. It's control. It's drive. It's responsibility. And when you decide to become the standard, you stop chasing power. Power starts responding to you. This is not something you turn off. This is who you become. And once you become the standard, there is no going back. This is not motivation for today. This is a mindset for life. 26 minutes of focus. 26 minutes of pressure. 26 minutes of becoming harder, sharper, stronger. Because weak habits build weak futures. And strength is built on purpose. And when silence becomes your default, noise loses its influence over you, your life begins to respond to command.